Is the Ryzen 5 7600X CPU fast enough to unlock the full potential of the RTX 5060 Ti in modern games? Let's find out. To test this, I'm using the MSI Inspire 2X 16GB version of the RTX 5060 Ti and DDR5 6000 CL30 memory. If you're interested in any of the products featured in this video, you can find them on Amazon at the links in the description below. Let's start with a competitive shooter, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, where we'll aim to achieve the highest FPS possible to gain a competitive advantage. So in this kind of scenarios, a fast CPU is very important. We are using a 1440p 27-inch QD OLED monitor by MSI. Graphics preset is set to basic to maximize FPS, and we're using NVIDIA's DLSS resolution upscaling set to quality mode. This is a decent start, around 160 FPS. The GPU is fully loaded, and the CPU is using just above 50% of its capabilities. 170 plus FPS at certain points, 190, oh, 200, above 200, nice. And 1% lows are doing okay as well, above 100. The GPU load stays pretty much consistent, only a couple of percent fluctuation, which tells me that the GPU is working hard. It was fully loaded throughout the whole run. Yeah, it turns out that if you're playing Call of Duty, then the 7600X is actually enough to fully unlock the potential of the RTX 5060 Ti. Let's take a look at the results. Here are the system specifications, and we managed to get 168 FPS average with 119 FPS, 1% lows, CPU bottleneck 0, GPU bottleneck 100%. As a result, the 7600X fully unlocked the 5060 Ti in this particular scenario. Next, we'll take a look at a CPU-demanding AAA game. This is Cyberpunk 2077. We are at 1440p resolution. Let's use the high graphics quality preset and DLSS resolution upscaling set to quality mode. Also, we'll lower the crowd density for now because this is our CPU-intensive setting in this game. Later, we'll keep increasing this setting to see if the CPU bottleneck will actually present itself in this particular game under these circumstances. I'm also turning off film grain and motion blur, and field of view set to the maximum, 100. Look at that CPU utilization. 85% at certain times, 88%, 91%. That is crazy. And we see that the GPU load is fluctuating as well. And we haven't even turned on the CPU intensive setting yet. That crowd density is set to the absolute minimum, which means that there's fewer NPCs on the street. It's easier for the CPU to handle this. And even so, the GPU load is fluctuating, which means that there is a CPU bottleneck happening. Interesting, interesting. Still, we're getting a pretty consistent 90 FPS experience, sometimes reaching 100 plus. This is a good, smooth experience. Let's increase the crowd density to medium to stress the CPU a little bit more. The CPU keeps working hard, but the GPU load is dropping now, so we're not getting the full performance out of the 5060 Ti because of the CPU bottleneck. This is still a pretty good 90 plus FPS experience. However, let's just quickly enter this area right here Oh no, yeah, I've seen 70 plus FPS. So in areas where there's a lot of NPCs, where the CPU stress is at its highest, nah, we can't keep that 90 plus FPS experience. It's now more of a consistent 60 plus FPS experience if you want to cap your FPS at that value. But, you know, at certain points we're still getting 100 plus FPS. Although, because of these fluctuations in frame rate, the game doesn't feel as smooth. So if you don't have a fast CPU, it's definitely not recommended to increase that crowd density, because your experience will be worse. And, you know, thankfully in this game, you can actually lower or increase that setting that stresses the CPU. In other games, it is simply not an option. So if you are planning on playing CPU-intensive games, then, you know, even with the 5060 Ti, it is best to have a faster CPU. Of course, that is if you want higher frame rates, because if you want 60 plus FPS, then this is more than good enough. Let's increase the crowd density to the absolute maximum to stress the CPU even more. The GPU load is even lower now, which means that we are leaving a lot of performance on the table. Our FPS could be higher if we had a better CPU under these conditions. 70, 67%, 66% GPU utilization. So yeah, that's like 30 plus % left on the table. And I think I've seen 50 plus FPS just then. Hold on, let me just quickly try and replicate that scenario. We were coming out of here, and 60 FPS. This is still a pretty consistent 60 plus FPS experience, if that's what you want out of your PC. But yeah, we're leaving a lot of FPS on the table, and I've seen 55 FPS just then. Yeah, the GPU can do more work, but the CPU is not keeping up with it. There's one more thing I would like to try. Let's lower the crowd density to the absolute minimum, and what I want to know is what will happen if we turn on frame generation. We'll start with the 2x frame generation, and if the CPU can handle it, then we'll increase that to 3x and 4x. Because as we've seen previously, even with the lowest crowd density, with the lowest CPU load, the 7600X isn't quite fast enough to deliver the maximum frame rate in this game. And the GPU load is lower than 100%, but not by much. So we are actually seeing quite a good return on, you know, that frame rate. 160 FPS at certain points. This is a fluid experience, well above 120 FPS. So if that is the kind of experience you're looking for, high refresh rate in AAA games using frame generation, then it is possible. Let's try the 3x frame generation next. By the way, ignore the frame rate fluctuations. The CapFrameX application is not reporting that correctly. This is a completely smooth experience. And with the 3x frame generation, oh my god, we are seeing 200 plus FPS. And it appears that our 1% lows are a little bit broken as well, so ignore that too. This is a very fluid experience. A lot of frames on the screen right now. And the GPU load is still doing okay. It's in the high 90s. Okay. Let's try the 4x frame generation. This one delivers close to 250 FPS at times, So if you have a high refresh rate monitor, something like 240 Hz, this frame generation will saturate your monitor completely, even while using the Ryzen 5 CPU. It is enough. But in certain scenes, the FPS will still drop below 240. Let's check one more scenario. We'll turn off frame generation and we'll turn on ray tracing. Alright? We'll set the lighting to medium. Also, let's not forget to turn on array reconstruction. That is a very important feature to increase visual presentation quality. Even with this kind of heavy GPU load, we're still seeing some CPU bottlenecking. Just a tiny bit, but it is there. Just take a look at that GPU load. It is fluctuating. It's not staying at 99% or at 100%. If you see 99%, then it means that it's fully loaded. But that's not the case. Even when we're stressing the GPU significantly with the ray tracing. And this is still a decent experience. I mean, it is playable. Mostly the FPS stays at above 45. So it is acceptable, but is it enjoyable? Not really. I mean, we definitely have to lower some other settings or lower some of the ray tracing effects quality to increase that FPS a little bit more. Because even frame generation won't help us to get a nice, pleasant experience here because we don't have 60 FPS baseline. If you just, boost your frame rate with frame generation from here, it's not gonna feel good. It will be okay, but it's not gonna be like a AAA premium experience. It is always best to just lower some settings or lower the resolution upscaling quality to get higher frame rate first. Kingdom Come: Deliverance II is a recently released game, and in terms of performance, in terms of intensity towards the GPU and the CPU, this is just an average game. So this will be your average experience using this GPU-CPU combo. Let's take a look at it. We are at 1440p resolution using Ultra Graphics Quality preset, FOV is set to 100, and we're using DLSS 4 resolution upscaling set to quality mode. The game looks and feels great using this hardware configuration and this set of graphics settings. Let's take a look at the GPU load. Is it at 100%? Yes, it does stay at 100% because this is quite a GPU demanding scenario. But we are still at 60 plus FPS quite consistently. I'm happy with it. If you are looking for a 60 plus FPS experience in AAA games, then this combo delivers it. But what if you're looking to get a higher frame rate, something like 90 plus FPS? Then, we can actually decrease the image quality to high and increase the FPS that way. Let's take a look at what happens. In this particular scenario, it appears that the Ryzen 5 7600X is actually the perfect match to the 5060 Ti, because if you've seen my previous videos using more powerful graphics cards, if you want 120 plus FPS, the 7600X simply cannot deliver that consistently. And the fact that the GPU load stays at 100 right now, well, we're still getting well above 100 FPS, and we are getting 120 plus FPS in certain scenes. Yeah, that is pretty good. So it is a well-balanced PC build right here. I'm happy with it. To demonstrate what I'm talking about, let's lower the resolution upscaling quality a little bit more to boost the FPS. We are using DLSS 4 balanced mode. The FPS is higher now, and we started seeing some fluctuations in the GPU load. So it's not consistently at 100% anymore. There are certain scenes where it drops a little bit. So even though we're using DLSS balanced, this is still a pretty balanced combo. This is like match made in heaven, the 7600X and the 5060 Ti. At least for playing an average AAA title, that is. In conclusion, this is a pretty well-balanced combo. However, if you are planning on playing competitive games and maximizing your frame rate, then a faster CPU is still recommended, even for pairing with the 5060 Ti. That is also true for CPU-intensive AAA games. But if you don't care about those, then for your average experience, this is a brilliant combo. I highly recommend it. If you are interested in any of the products featured in this video, you can find them on Amazon at the links in the description below. Also, let me know in the comments what do you think about this combination. And if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, don't forget to reward my work with a like. It helps out a lot. I appreciate it. Furthermore, if you want to see more videos like this, then subscribe for more if you haven't already. It was I, Vadim. Until next time.